All right, welcome back, everyone. Let me, I guess, continue for the other half. Hopefully, we can finish it sooner. Okay, so the next step is that I haven't talked about the warehouse yet. Warehouse is something that you should decide even before you set up anything inventory based. I mean, I guess item and warehouse should be two things that you decide first when you want to set this system for the business. Okay, because once you want to change the warehouse, it's very painful, right? Because you have to keep moving things into different warehouse, like or if you want to divide your warehouse into a sub warehouse later on, that process is very painful, I can tell you. So decide on what is the granularity of your warehouse. Okay, your warehouse doesn't have to be a physical building. It can be even a shelf, like different shelves can be different warehouses, or even racks, or even, I don't know, like your imaginary division of things too. For example, I've seen where even in one warehouse, like even in one rack, they're divided into, things that they want to sell locally and things that they want to sell internationally, like even in just one physical place. So can be anything that actually makes sense for you to filter things, okay? Let's add one more warehouse, shall we? Because right now we don't have any requirements. But if you want to go to warehouse, go to stock, and we're going to go to warehouse. Where is it? Okay, settings right here. Warehouse, or you can go to warehouse list from the menu itself. Okay, and as you can see that there are 5 warehouses that are predefined. The way that I want to look at is almost like this. It's almost like accounting. I mean the account in the accounting module, but this is more like the account in the stock module. Or if I were to do this, I think you will see the similarity, right? Go to view and then tree view, okay? And as you remember that if I open the chart of account, you can see a lot of folders with a lot of things inside. This is very same thing. This is warehouses. So if you shoot so, you may create, for example, a new folder that contain a different warehouses. For example, I can go to, this is a company, right? Normally, if you have more than one company, you will have more than one names. You can add child, and then you can say maybe this one is more like a parent warehouse, like a folder, right? You can say, I don't know, new building or something, right? And I can say this one is a group, okay? And I can create something like this. So now I have 2 places to put the warehouse on. Like I might divide things into like multiple buildings, and each building I might have multiple rooms, for example. So in here I might add another child, and maybe I'll just do like room A in another building. So things like this is you should decide it before you even put any information in terms of like bringing in the stocks. Like I think this one should be even before you do item, because when you do item and you do the opening stocks balance, it already put into the store warehouse. So if you want to change it later, it's kind of painful. It's kind of tedious, I guess. So decide on your division of warehouse first. Okay. So I'm gonna create couple ones just to show you that it's pretty easy to do. You can even add the subfolder if you choose so. Okay. I'm gonna add maybe another one. I'll do I guess store 2 for me. I want to do store 2, and this is not, wait, I don't want group, sorry. I want to do add child, okay? And I want to do store 2 right here. See? So this is my, I guess, new warehouse structure, okay? It's group นะครับ group ลบได้ครับนี่ไงครับเป็นกรุ๊ปแล้วอันนี้ไม่ใช่กรุ๊ปเนอะงั้นก็กดลบเลยครับ edit เอา delete เลยครับโอเคถ้ายังไม่มีอะไร delete ง่ายครับแต่เมื่อมีอะไรนี่เบื่อมากต้องเอาของออกให้หมดก่อนแล้วค่อย delete วุ่นวายใช่ครับนั่นแหละครับOkay, so you have a couple new warehouses. Now, things gonna get more complicated because when you move things in, you have a choice, and then you can move things around, right? And it's good to keep track of things to be organized. Okay, so I have warehouse. So why don't we put more things into a different warehouse? Remember last time we have like I bring in erasers into the store. Maybe you want to go into, you might want it to go to some other place, warehouse. So let's do just that, shall we? So we're going to go to stock entry. So that's the one that you're going to use a lot from now on. Stock entry, right? And I'm going to add another stock entry. The type is going to be receipt. Okay, receipt means bringing things into our inventories. And this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. So you see something called default warehouse. Okay, you can do this. You can set it here. And it's going to use this one for the rest of the item. So let's say I want to go into store 2. Okay. Okay, so let's just pick something here. And now you can, and then maybe you want to bring a couple items. So let's bring a lot of things into the store 2, or any things that you want in here. But see, right now it's actually inputting the location automatically because we set the default warehouses. So this is kind of nice because sometimes you doesn't want to do it manually. So I'm going to do pen, right? I'm going to do eraser. So this is more like real things. Like when things come in, usually there are many things, many items that come into one document. So let's do just that. Okay, I'm going to do a pencil. I don't have, I have pencil, okay. And do 25. And then as you can see that the rate is, I guess it's looked up automatically based on the last purchase price. But certainly you should make sure that this value is correct because it's going to reflect on your item valuations. Okay. All right. So let's just save it, and then we're going to submit. Okay. And there you go. If you look at the stock ledger, you're going to see that there are 3 things coming in. All right. And I just noticed that actually you can just look at the valuation, what is called the average rate right here. So this one is more like the, wait, no, actually not. You have to go to the report to see the actual valuation rates. Okay, stock ledger done, right? Okay, so right now if you go back to the stock summary, you can now start to see things that kind of resemble, maybe refresh one time. You can now see things that, a little more complicated, right? You got more entries because you have things in multiple places. Okay, and this is where the concept of warehouse and item groups might become helpful because if imagine, like typical business, you're going to have like a couple hundred items. This is going to be really long. But if you sort things by warehouse, I mean, if you keep things in the warehouse in an organized way, yeah, you can just do that, right? Make more sense. Or if you can also sort things by item groups, right? This is another way. So there are many ways that you can organize your stuff. Some people like to do by item groups, some people do by warehouse. It's up to you. Depends on how much granularity you need, right? And also, there's nothing to prevent you from just search for item itself. If I just want to see like, where is my eraser? okay, it's in 2 warehouses, and these are the quantities. Okay, so that's how you kind of, like look up your inventories quite easily. Okay. And remember that actually, if you go back to the item, you can also inspect the same, actually even more detailed information from the dashboard. So I go to my erasers, I go to my dashboard, and now you can kind of see that there are, you can even track like how many stock entries are there. That's pretty cool, right? So you can track a lot of things from the dashboard too. And then there's a stock level for the items, okay? Pretty cool. Okay, what else? I think let's move things around. So maybe this is too much. Like I want to move things back. So I want to move things from store 2 back to store 1 so that it's in one place. Yeah, we can do just that. So we're going to go to stock entry, same thing, same document. But right now, we're going to go to new stock entry. But take a note that right now we're going to do material transfer. Okay, the name is quite self-explanatory. We're going to transfer things, right? And if you want to transfer things, that means you're going to have to use the source and the target. Like both of them is required. So we're going to do, I guess I want to do store 2. So for this, you can have to remember where you put things, okay? And where you want your stuff to go. So I'm going to go from store 2 to store. And I want to move my eraser. I want to move them all. So actually I have to go back and inspect. Okay, I have 50 in my store 2. So I'm going to move them all. Actually, you can even try if you want to move more than what you have. It's going to give you error, okay? But that's it. But take a notice that actually, when you're moving things, you're not allowed to edit the rate, right? Let me know if it doesn't make sense, but when you move things around, you don't change your stock value. So you're not allowed to specify this one. So this one is the average price of your, the average cost of your stock. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. This is actually the price of the cost of your stock based on the first in, first out methods of calculation. It's called FIFO. So in logistics, I think when you do stock management, there are many ways. There's like FIFO and then expiry first out or something like that. There are many ways, but this one is based on FIFO. And you can also change the way that it calculates this value in the settings. I'll show you later. LIFO. Yeah, I think that actually, let me just show you right now. There's the menu called stock settings right here. And there are 3 things. Okay, the other one is moving average. Okay, that's the other one. Okay. Okay, so let's just move things around, shall we? Saved and submit. Okay. And if you look at the stock ledger, see what happened. Pretty self-explanatory. Like you move things out from store 2 and back into store 1, right? So if I were to go into my, so usually I have another tab that opens stock summary, because this one I'll come back to here quite often. So stock summary. Okay, and now probably you have to you might need to refresh it one time before it updates the values. So if I were to go to my eraser, then I only have one place that it situates. Okay. Okay, so moving things, you can, right? But actually, if you just look to the right, you can see that there are like 2 buttons. That's called move and add. That's what it is. So sometimes you might want to do it from here, which is more convenient. So I can just do that too. I'm going to move. Okay. So let's move this one back to store 2, where it just came from. So I'm going to do store 2, and I'm going to move 50. like that. So you can. So this one is kind of a nice way to manage your stock. But then once you click this button, the same thing applies because it goes back to material transfer with all of the information filled in. So it's actually the same thing. It just creates this document for you in a more convenient way. Same thing, right? So I only need to, I guess, just press saved and submit. And now I should have my, I guess, my eraser move back to stock number 2, stock 2. So I'm do stock summary again. Okay, and then I'm going to refresh one more time. Usually you have to refresh it so that it updates your information. So now my eraser 2, I have 2 things again. Okay, and again, apart from move, you can also try the add button. So the add button will give you the material receipt mode in a more convenient way. So add. So if I want to, let's say something goes into my warehouse store 2, it's in eraser, and then it goes in like 20. When I bought it for, I don't know, 15 baht each, then I create the stock entry. See, it's a stock entry again with the material receipt mode, and then all of this are actually filled out automatically, right? So nothing new per se, it's just a more convenient way to come up, to arrive at the same thing. Okay, and just like that. Okay, so okay, and if I reload again, I should be able to see my erasers moving up to 70 pieces. Okay, so why don't you just try maybe move things around, add things. Okay, but I suggest that if you only move one thing, then from this Windows is convenient, but once you start to move a lot of things, then maybe you have to go to do it a little bit more manual. That's actually quite nice. Quite nice. Okay, so one thing I want to mention in terms of accounting is that if you were to bring in your stock like this without purchasing, it's actually count as the income. Because imagine this, right? If something just appear on your inventory, it's actually you're gaining something. So if you look into your balance sheet, it's going to count as you have income. But so that's normally not what you want, right? What you want is actually you want to purchase things. So that usually the start of the business is somebody invests into your company and you use that money to buy your stocks or raw materials. And with that, things going to balance out to be zero. But if you start the business with something in your stock right away, that is actually income. In terms of your accounting, so that's the way that the double accounting is handled behind the scene. Okay. So last thing before we move on to something a little more challenging is you get things in, right? Just magically something appear on your stocks and your inventory. There's another direction where something just magically just disappear from your inventory. Okay, we can do that too. Okay, so let's say that for some unknown reason, my eraser is gone by, I don't know, 70 of my eraser is gone. Like somebody just come into my inventory and my warehouse and just take it. It's gone, right? I can do that too. Okay? So I'm going to go to, again, stock entry. See, this document is used a lot in your stock management. Okay? Not this one. I don't want this one. I want stock entry, this one. Okay? I'm going to add new stock entry. But now I'm going to do issue, materials issue, this one right here. So when you say material issue, it's almost like somebody come into your warehouse and ask for your stuff, like เบิกของ and that's the term for it, issue out to someone, right? So you issue it out without the sales cycle, right? You just taking it out. So if you issue things out, that means where is it from, right? It doesn't matter what's the target warehouse. It doesn't matter. It's just gone. But where is it gone? Where is the source? Where is it from? So I have to put it. For example, I have store 2. Okay. And I guess my eraser is gone. So I'm going to do erasers. And I guess the whole thing's gone. So 70 is gone. Okay? And again, you're not allowed to input the rate, right? Because when it's gone, it's gonna, the thing that is gone is your expense to your company. And then that expense should be equal to the cost of your item based on the FIFO calculations. And again, you can change it to be like moving average or LIFO. But this is FIFO. So I guess what I have is that if I want to move things out 70 pieces, this is the cost that my company is going to have to cover for it. Okay. Okay, let's go. Saved. Okay, and then submit. Okay. So as usual, when I want to see what happened, I usually go to stock ledger just to make sure that things are happening correctly. So my eraser is moving out. So as you can see that this is the out quantity. And I guess it's out from the store number 2, right? And if I were to go back to the stock summary, I should be able to see that my eraser is gone from the store 2. Okay, there you go. Okay. So normally this is the method that I recommend the business that actually starting the inventory management. Like usually I guess the most comprehensive way is actually to tie this to the sales cycle. But what happened is like a lot of businesses, they have like their separate accounting software, and they want to bring in, for example, like ERP Next to do the inventory management. And for that, it's kind of, it would be a double working if they have to do the sales cycle in their existing accounting software and do the sales cycle back into the ERP Next. So what I tell them to do mostly is just if you sell something, please do material issue from the stocks, and if you buy something, you can do material receipt into your stocks. So that way ERP Next can kind of coexist with the existing accounting software in the business. But actually that one is not the best way. The best way is to ditch all the accounting software and use the one in ERP Next. That would be the most seamless way. But the reality is much more complicated. So that's what we have to do, okay? All right. So these are like basic inventory management. Let's do one more thing that are a little bit more complicated. For example, this one. Okay, let's say you're selling paper, right? So you have to buy paper and you're selling paper, right? Normally, if you buy paper, you want to buy in a large quantity, like box, right? But then when you sell it, you might sell it in what's called ream, right? And one ream is 500 pieces, right? And one box is 2,500 pieces. But you might want to sell like just one piece. I don't know why you want to do, but maybe you want to break the rim into like multiple pieces. So there are many units like with just one item. So how do we handle all of this? And the answer is yes, you can. Okay, let's do just that. So why don't we start with creating another item called paper? Okay, let's do just that. I'm going to go back to item and add one more item. I'm going to go to full form because we need more customization. So I'm going to do item 003. Item name is paper. Okay. Okay. The group probably products. Okay. And so here's the thing. If you want to do multiple units of measure, first you're going to have to come up with the default one. So when I say the default one, it means that this is what the system is actually keeping track of. So when you go to, for example, like stock summary, that's the number that you're going to see. So you can choose this to be anything, but what makes sense for you the most when you see the stock summary? I think that's what you want to choose as the default unit of measure. Okay. So I want to keep things simple. I guess if possible, try to make this unit the smallest if it's not too much. For example, I can keep track of paper as pieces. So I'm going to do number, right? So let's do just that first. But then I can also define the new way of counting my products, which is the unit of measure right here. So first I'm going to add the default one. Okay, so you can add rows. Okay, I'm going to add the default one first. Let's see, I'm going to do number. Okay, and the conversion factor is 1. Okay, so this is kind of this is just setting the reference. So I mean the default is number, and this is number. So the mapping is just 1 to 1. That's it. That's nothing more than this. Okay. But then I want to sell things by rim. I don't know how to pronounce rim. I think it's rim. So right here, if I search for rim, then there's nothing coming up. Why don't we just create a new unit of measure called rim, for example. Okay. And let me just edit the full form real quick. Okay, right here. And there's nothing much except for if you think that you will never ever gonna have half rim in your system, then you may click this button to enforce whole number. Okay, but for me, I think it's too restrictive. Maybe sometime I want to have things in half rims. Possible, right? So I'm gonna not check this one. Okay, and I'm gonna hit saved. Okay, and when you hit save, it should go back into your item automatically. Okay, if it doesn't, maybe you have to press back or something. There's many ways you can do, but see right now I have rims in my unit of measures, right? And the conversion factor, this one is a bit weird, but the way that I remember is like how many default in one rim. For example, if this is 1, right, this is going to be 500. And the 500 come from this number. One rim, there are many 500 pieces. So I'm going to do 500 in here. I usually get this one confused. So is it 500 or 1 over 500? But the way that I remember is that I try to keep the default one the smallest, so that the bigger one is the larger number. That's how I remember it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one called box. I think that there's already box in here, so I don't need to create new ones. And one box, there are 2,500 pieces. So this is what you want to end up with before you hit saved. Okay. Let me just, okay, well, so right now I'm going to try a new thing, a new way. I'm not going to tell the system anything, so I'm going to leave this thing blank because I want to go through the usual process of purchasing and selling, just to show you that actually, like the actual flow that happened, your stuff should come from purchasing. Like why would it appear on your inventory? It doesn't make sense, right? So when I leave it blank, I'm going to save it. And I think you're done. Yeah, you're done. Okay. Okay. One more thing that I want to customize further is that when I purchase, I want to purchase in a box. So the default purchase units of measure should be box. Okay, and as you can see that there are actually other things that relate to the inventory management, like safety stocks and things like that. But when I sell it, okay, I want to sell it by ream, for example. I can type it in here, like that. And then, so right now when I purchase, I'm going to do box, right? When I sell, I'm going to sell by reams. And then hit save again, just to make sure. Okay, so once you're done, now let's purchase it, okay? When you purchase it, you can go through the full cycle, like purchase order, invoice, and things like that. But we're going to skip everything and then go through the last one, which is purchase receipt, because that's the one that actually affects the inventory ledger, okay? So I'm going to go to purchase receipt, okay? Remember that purchase receipt is when the supplier delivers things to us. We record such action through the purchase receipt documents. Okay, so purchase receipt list. Okay, so this is the one. As you can see that you already bought a lot, like we already do this a couple times previously, right? So this is when the supplier delivers things to us. We record that through the purchase receipt, right? We can skip, I'm just skipping purchase order and purchase invoice just for brevity, okay? Okay, so right here, again, you have to choose your suppliers, right? And the rest is okay. And let's come right here in terms of item code. So I'm going to do paper. Okay, so here's the thing. There's a quantity. But what is the unit of this quantity, right? This one doesn't tell you. So the way, and this is kind of, I guess, the confusing part. So the way that I always do, you have to do it once, okay? You want to click it here. There's a gear in here, like a settings. And then let's add one more thing that actually makes things much easier. So can you add unit of measure? So that you know, like, what is that quantity units, right? That's, I think that's kind of important. I don't know why it's not there on the default menu. You can do updates. Oh, okay, but you have to adjust the number so that this one cannot be more than 10. So maybe I'll just put item code and just do 2. Okay, so I guess the column width is limited to 10. Okay, I guess no. Okay, I have to reduce it even more. So I'm going to do 1. Okay, just adjust the number so that you can fit the new columns in. Okay, and now it's much clearer. I don't know why it's not here as the default, but I think unit is quite important, right? So right now, so it says box, and this is box because we just set that into our item as the default purchase unit of measure. Okay, and now you can accept the quantity. For example, maybe I'll just do 2 boxes. Okay. And the rate, this is the rate per box. So I don't know how much is เท่าไหร่ครับกล่องหนึ่งราคาเท่าไหร่1,000 บาท Okay, I don't know, 10,000 baht. I have no idea how much would that be. Okay. All right. So let me just show you that actually in every items, there actually there's a little icon that you can look into the detail, right? It's kind of like a pop-up dialog box. So it comes up and you can click outside to close it, okay? So if you look into the details, there's actually written in here, right? You're receiving 2, but the UOM is a box. But here's the thing, there is a conversion factor of 25,000. So that is where the conversion rates come in. And then here, if you look below, you can see that actually what gets recorded into the system is it's a number 5,000. So what you write up here, like number of box, it's actually used just for this form only. But in the stock ledger, so inside the, like behind the scene, what the system is recording, it's actually recording the entry with regard to the default unit of measure, which is the number, the pieces itself. So that's, and you can see that the stock ledger is going to write 5,000. It's not going to write number 2. Okay, so that's what I mean by the default unit of measure. This is what actually gets recorded in your system, right? Because if it doesn't do that, it's going to get confused on what is the unit of your stocks, okay? So that's why it has a default unit of measure. Okay, so let's do just that. I'm going to save, okay? And then I'm going to submit, okay? All right. So when you submit it, you can actually see the stock ledger, okay? And if you see the stock ledger, you're going to see that actually this is what gets recorded, right? Even though you say you buy 2 boxes, but behind the scene, it's actually using the default, which is the pieces that we defined at the beginning. So 500. And the valuation of the item is actually based on the unit, default units of measure. Because right now, your paper costs 0.4 baht per pieces. Okay, so I guess everything in the stock ledger is based on the default unit of measure. It does not calculate anything based on your other UOM. Okay, so just keep that in mind because it's going to get more confusing if you deal with a lot of units. Okay, so everything based on the default one, even the valuation too. Okay. Okay, so this one is for the purchase. So let's go to the sale to see if it's actually doing the right thing. For sale, again, you have to do sales order, sale invoice and delivery note when you deliver things. So let's just skip into the delivery note just so that we can make things faster. So why don't we go to the delivery note? Okay, this one. Again, I think you did some of this last time, right? So we're going to deliver a paper to our customers, okay? Again, we choose the customers, right? And then, again, we're going to do item code, erase paper, paper, right? Okay. And see, right now, the UOM comes up, it's a rim, right? So this is kind of like the way that we do. So we set the default unit of measure for the selling cycle to be reams, right? So let's just sell, I don't know, 2 reams, okay? And again, you can do the rates. I don't know how much the ream. Paper 1 ream กี่บาทครับ 200 baht 200 okay 200 baht according to our classmates, okay? Again, right, if you were to look at this icon right here, you can see that it's 2 reams, but then the actual things that get recorded in the, I guess in the thing is 1,000. So you're actually shipping 1,000 pieces, and that's going to get recorded in the stock entry, stock ledger. Okay, so 2 reams, but let's see, saved and submit. Yeah. And then it got the new price, okay? And look at the stock ledger, so view stock ledger. And you can see that 1,000 pieces has been out, okay? Same thing, okay. Keeping things in the default unit of measure make things much easier when you actually like transacting the stock inventory. Okay, so hopefully you have some ways to customize your products, and actually when you talk to the business, you should ask them, you know, like what is the items, what are the items, and if they have this type of behavior, for example, they have different unit of measures. So these things is something that you can show in your project, that you have, you know, somewhat customize the software to suit the business need, something like that. Okay. Okay, maybe last topic before we go for today. Even if it's not done, I think we should be able to cover some amount. Okay. Another thing that I've seen a lot happening in dealing with stock is keeping track of the batch, okay, and serial number. Okay. So let's do one more thing. Okay. What am I selling here? Let me see. I am selling okay. Okay. So the problem is that usually if you are, especially if you are manufacturing things, you might want to keep track of your batch of manufacturing, or if you're buying some things that might have some expiry dates, you might want to keep track of those batches and where you sell those batches to. And in case there's something happen, you might want to have a look at your history, right? And then, okay, this batch has a problem. I sell it to, you know, 3 stores, and I might want to recall them back. This problem actually happens a lot for those who do like distribution center. Maybe even like transportation stuff. They do have this requirement where they need to be able to track where things go. And this is where batches and serial number become actually critical to the business operations. Okay. Before we do anything, I want you to help me with one settings. So we're going to go to stocks. Okay. We're going to stock settings, stock and stock settings, and we're going to serial and batch item. This one. And I think the one that I want you to make sure is that this should be on. So for me, it's already on. So for you, if it's not on, you may click on. So it has to be like that. Okay. So this one is going to make things much easier when we deal with, you know, purchasing and selling things. Okay. We're going to do saved. Okay. Okay. From my note, I click this one. So let's click this one first. Okay. We'll deselect them later. Okay. But we're gonna do that for now, just to make things easier. I remember now, if you click this one, things get a little bit easier. So let's do the easier one first. Okay. So we're gonna disable the serial and batch selector, and there you go. Saved. Okay. All right, so that's the first setting to make life easier. Okay. Next thing, I'm gonna create item, and let me recall what I did. Okay, I don't remember what item I did. Actually, let's come up with new item. It's okay. Okay. So I'm gonna do a new item. Okay. Which one should be? I'm gonna do, I don't know, I have no idea, but I'm gonna do marker. Okay, item 0004, right? And this one is gonna be marker. Okay. Full form, sorry, not the name is marker, right? But the group is still products. Okay. Okay. And this is the same thing that we did, right? But then what I want to do is actually go to inventories. And I'm going to go to the very bottom. You're going to see something called serial and batches. Okay, so this one, we're going to start tracking, where things are from, like what batches are we have in our inventory and where do we sell it to, okay? So I think we're going to start with hash batch number first. I think, right, batch number? Yeah, hash batch number, okay. And to make things easier, I'm going to automatically create new batch right here, okay? And what I want you to type in here is actually some code, this one. So change this into marker because I already have eraser, so I'm going to change this to marker, okay? So it's going to be marker underscore, or actually if you copy from my code, that's fine, or you can type in here. But do take notice on the dot, okay? So the dot is very important. It has to be dot. Okay, that's a dot, and then also the hashtags, okay? So as you might guess, this is the pattern for creating the batch number. So it's gonna create like marker, and then followed by the year, date, and month. Why do I have date here? Shouldn't it be year, month, and date? You may change it though, okay? I have no idea why I did this. I think it's a typo. It should be month, right, and day. That makes more sense, right? Okay. And then followed by the number, okay? So in this way, you know which item it is, what day you bring it in, and also what is the, I guess the ordinal number for each batch if you bring in more than one batch per day. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one in and then put it in here, okay, like that. All right. And this, okay,ไหมครับ okay. So we're gonna save, okay, and see what happened. Okay, nothing happened yet. Stop item. Okay, so that's okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring the item in. We can just do stop entry just to be quicker, okay? So let me go to stop entry. Okay. And same thing, we're going to bring in that marker, okay? So let's do that. And I'm going to do material receipt. Okay. Where do you want it to be? I can go to store, doesn't matter what it is, store. Okay. And then I want to choose marker. Okay, and let's bring in, I don't know, just come up with a number like 200 pieces. And the price, the cost, okay, the buying, I bought it for 20 baht each, something like that. Okay. And you can just simply hit saved and then submit. Okay. So nothing changed at all in terms of your workflow. But what had changed, it's actually the batch has been recorded. Let me show you this one. So I'm going to go to stock. Okay. And I'm going to go to, where is it? Oh, stop, okay, stop. And I'm gonna go to batch right here. Okay, there's a batch and serial number, okay, and batch. And you can start to see that there is actually a batch occurring. So think about this. If you buy something and then you wanna track the history of that batch, this is where you go, okay? So this is the batch. Let me click on it to see what happened, okay? I'm gonna click in here. And again, there is the almost like a dashboard, but not as detailed. But some of the documents that are involved with that batch. Okay, and usually the most important things that you want to do is the ledger. Okay, let me show you the ledger. Okay, So right now this batch, okay, there's only one activity in here, which is moving in. So this one is the item, bring it in for 200, okay? So let's do, I guess let's do bring in one more thing, and you can see that there are actually more batch coming in, okay? Let's do another batch. Okay, so I'm going to go to stock, okay, sorry, stock entry, okay, and then stock receipt, okay. I think last time I bring in for 200, let me do another like 300, I go to store, okay, and then I'm going to do marker, and then maybe another 300, okay, and then doesn't matter, I just do a new price, okay. So I'm going to show you, because when you, so this is when things are going in, right, and then I'm going to show you when things are going out, like what happened in the batch records, okay. So I have two batches, I'm going to save and then submit, okay, just like that, right. So again, nothing changed, you just do the same process, but behind the scene, what changed is that now you have two batches in your system, okay. So I'm going to go to batch list, okay, or you can go through the main menu, but as you can see that there are two things now, okay, two batches, okay. Because it's coming in one day, that means that the number keep going up, so that's a nice way of keeping track of like how many things are going in per day too, okay. So I have 500 markers, right? If I want to bring it out, I can sell it for, I can sell it to my customer, or if I just issue it out, what happened, okay? I can do another material receipt, okay? I'm going to do material, entry, sorry, stock entry, okay? And then this time, I'm going to issue. So it's called material issue. This one. Okay. But the thing is that I want to take it out maybe 350. Okay. So I'm going to do store. Okay. And I want to bring out the erasers. So marker, right? Marker. But I want to do 350. And I think this is very cool from this software, because you remember the first batch is 200, the second batch 300, but right now I want to bring 350, which is actually, you know, exceeding the, so it has to come from two batches basically, right? Because one batch is not enough to cover this quantity. So how is it going to choose which batch it's going to go out from, right? So that's something that I want to explore a little bit, right? So if I were to go to, I guess I can save it. I can save it right here. And if I were to go to this pencil right here, and I move down, okay, you don't have to do this, okay? It kind of did this automatically, but I guess I can do this one, and I can do this one. You see what it's doing inside? So it's actually doing the FIFO calculation. It says that, okay, I need 350. So the first batch that comes in, they're 200. So it picked this one first. And then the second batch, even though it has more, but I only need 150 from that batch, from FIFO. So I think this one is pretty cool because it kind of automates things for us. We don't have to do it. Unless you have a special requirement, you can select this thing manually. But if it's not that big of a deal, I suggest that you just leave it automatic like this. So that's why I have you change the settings beforehand, because if you don't change that setting, you have to pick it kind of manually. So it's a little bit more work to do. But that's what it is behind the scene. It's actually picking the batch for you based on the FIFO calculations. Okay. And if I were to submit this thing one more time, okay, submit it. Now, I can go back to my batch and just inspect what happened to each one. For example, what happened to my first one, right? Okay, the first one's still here, right? But it's empty because everything's go out, right? So batch quantity is 0. But what happened? I can inspect the ledger, okay? And my ledger goes saying that, okay, right now I have, it comes in 200 and it goes out for 200. And how did it go out? Like, what is the document that is relates to this activity? It's this guy right here. So I can always inspect, you know, in each of the transaction, like what is happening. For example, this 200 is out because of this transaction. I can click into it and can say, oh, this is a material issue. That means that somebody take it out for some reason. It's not because I'm delivering it to my customer. Okay, so that's the nice things about it. Okay, and I can also go to the other batch. For example, the second one. The second one still have 150, right? I can go to the ledgers. And I can see that, oh, okay, so it's coming in 300, right? And then 150 move out because there is the material issue. Okay, so that's why somebody take it out for 150. But let's say I wanna send this batch to my customer, right? I can do that too. So I'm gonna go to delivery note. Okay. And I'm going to create the new delivery note to my customer. For example, this guy right here. And then I'm going to choose marker. Okay. And then I'm going to send 50 out. Okay. With the rate of 50. I don't know how many. This doesn't matter, right? And I can just click save right now. And actually, the system is going to know that if I were to pick 50 out, it has to be my second batch because that's the only thing that's left according to FIFO calculations. Okay, so I can do that. But you don't have to do this, okay? You can just click OK and it's just going to do things automatically. Okay? But then the cool thing is that I can come back to my batch again. Okay? And I can see my second batch now have 100 pieces left. And I can do ledger. And I can see that now I have sent 50 to this guy right here, to customer A. Okay. Actually, actually this is one of the pain points that I faced with one of the distributor in another province. And when I showed this to them, they were like, "Wow, this is the best thing. It works for them." They are the milk distributor for like pretty huge milk distributor, and their job, they have to keep track of who the milk that they deliver to, because if there's a problem with the batch, they have to retrack everything from all the stores, and they're selling things for like many stores, and they need a system that track like this batch, where do this batch go, and this system like answer their pain point like very neatly. So I'm thinking of like if you guys need to know like such things, and if it's a big business requirement, I think this one is pretty cool. I don't see any other system that beats like something like ERP with this kind of requirement actually. Okay. Okay. I think we'll come back here later next time, because I want to show you a couple things with the serial number. You can even do like serial number and the return and the repair and things like that. Like if you do things by serial number, it's actually quite nice too. Okay, but I think it's getting pretty intense right now, so I think I'm gonna stop it now. But next time I'll revisit the batch and serial numbers again when you are in fresh mind, because I think this one is pretty cool and solve a lot of the business needs. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for staying with me. See you next time. Okay.